What is our game about? Fight Club is a 1v1 PvP pseudo turn-based game where players play different characters that they have chosen and battle each other to the death. The game mechanics are as followed. The game is played with a mouse only. The game is played on two separate computers on a network. Players during each turn decide to either charge, attack or defend within a 10-second period. Both players make their decision on the same turn. Once the two players have indicated their actions, the game will compute and reveal the results after every turn, and the players will continue to make decisions on how they would like to attack, charge or defend until one of the players loses all their health and lives.
There is a core human class which implements the main functionality of the game characters such as health, charge points, damage, cost, and block. It defines an abstract function called getCharge. The three classes, warrior, tank, and assassin, inherit from the human class and have their own custom implementations of gainCharge. They also implement the abilities interface and implement special attack differently. Under the netcode package, we also have a class called packets, which we extend into 5 subclasses: welcome packet, init packet, game status packet, move choice, and player info. Each of these subclasses implement their own unique attributes and unique constructors, but no other methods.
Right now I'm going to talk about the current limitation of the game. As of now, the server has to be restarted every time the game ends. The server only can handle 2 players at a time, which means that the single game can only be played concurrently instead of a multitude 1v1 battles going on like a chess tournament, and it does not support team fights like 2v2 or 3v3 battles, and the players only can choose up to 3 characters or classes, as generally there should be more characters or classes to choose from to diversify the gameplay. And there is no ranking matchmaking system added to allow for more complex competitive matches, and player has to source for their own opponent.
The game is using a server client architecture. The game also has a unique and beautiful graphic interface and animations to keep the users engaged throughout the game. The game incorporates both luck and skill into the gameplay, very much like in poker and chess. Like in poker, the game requires strategic thinking, as the players not only have to manage their charge resources to attack in order to kill their opponent, but they also have to preemptively predict what their opponent's moves are in order to gain an edge.
The team used a game engine called libgdx. It is an open source game engine written in Java language, and its purpose is to allow easier developments of games in Java. The team mainly used libgdx on the client side for the purpose of displaying textures, running the animation, and providing music for the game. It helps provide the client an aesthetically pleasing looking GUI to use and to look at.
Our project encapsulation is implemented by having the attributes of the class set to private. This way, it will protect and keep the data and codes safe within the class itself. This is to prevent the code and data from being randomly accessed by other codes defined outside the class. The only way of accessing the class attributes are via getters, setter methods. Hence, the attributes are accessible without allowing open access to the data system-wide. If we allow open access to the class's attributes, it could cause certain unwanted results in the game. For example, a character's HP or charge might be randomly added if the attribute is free accessible, making the game broken and unfair.
For our project, the abstraction and inheritance class concept are combined together. This is used in the human-based class. Inheritance and abstractions are used because there is a common parent, which is the human, for all 3 different classes. The 3 different classes share the same human-based attribute, which are health, damage output, charges, charge rate, and lives, which is used as a scoreboard, but with different values to suit the class's characteristics. Hence, inheritance was used to meet these demands to avoid repeating the same work multiple times. Another reason of why abstraction is also used is because we didn't want to instantiate a human class but rather the child classes, which are tank, warrior and assassin. Human is the abstract and as well as the parent class for all three different subclasses, which are tank, warrior and assassin.
Interface was used as a form of polymorphism, as the three different classes have different ways of implementing a special attack. Overriding is used for gain charge. Different classes have different rates of gaining charges. Hence, overriding was used as a method to implement the different rates of charges, which leads to different attack speed.
In the game server constructor, we catch the IO exception that may be thrown when creating a server socket. This is so that we can print a user-friendly message to inform the user that the server could not start correctly. In the run method, in the send packet and next packet methods of the client-side connection and server-side connection classes, we catch exceptions that may be thrown from network failure and gracefully return false or null to indicate failure instead of triggering a crash.
So the server is first started before the players can connect. The players will then actually load up the client side, which will be seen shortly. This is the client side, where it will be displayed on the screen. For this example, Yang Xiao will be picking the assassin class while he waits for his opponent. Yan Hao will be picking the tank class. After he picks this, they will be brought into the main gameplay. So, in the gameplay, they actually have 4 options: attack, charge, block and special. However, to attack, their mana bar, which is below the health bar, has to be somewhat filled. Hence, that is why they are choosing to charge on the first turn. The players then make their decision on the same turn, in which they have a 10-second window to decide upon their actions, which can be seen on the top right of the screen. So the players will continue to make decisions and attack each other until one of them actually dies. As you can see, both players are near their death. So in this case, actually the assassin died, which is Yang Xiao's character. And you can see on the top right corner, he loses one of his lives. So every time when a life is lost, the game is actually resetted, where both players have their HP resetted to full and their mana reset back to 0. And they will continue until one of the players actually loses all of their lives, in which the player loses and the one with the remaining lives is the player that wins. Yes.